Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, internet? Hope everyone had a wonderful Boxing Day weekend and enjoyed the football, enjoyed the holidays. Hope you're all staying safe and keeping out of trouble. So I'm going to do this video, which is going to be a review of the Premier League fixtures this weekend. And then shortly afterwards, I'll be releasing another video because football doesn't stop and there's more football starting tomorrow. So that video will go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's fixtures. And then we have one day off before they return on Friday. So let's jump into the weekend's fixtures. So first match of the weekend, Leicester City versus Manchester United. So not to say that Leicester weren't in the match, they were very much in the match. They had more of the possession by 10%. They had more shots, albeit only 2 of them being on target. But the goals that Manchester United conceded were hugely, not unlucky, but they weren't as good as some of the goals that we stopped, shall we say. So Harvey Barnes' goal in the first half was pretty incredible. I can't say anything about that one, but the second goal, especially because it's been attributed as an own goal, it just doesn't sit right. So, but Marcus Rashford getting his 50th goal for Manchester United, and Bruno Fernandes just, I mean, what more can be said about it? I mean, he's just incredible. I haven't seen a signing for Manchester United like this in a very, very long time. I'm trying to think when we had a more influential signing. I think you could maybe say Zlatan, but he was a striker. Robin van Persie, again a striker. I mean, perhaps Michael Carrick, but he wasn't a prolific midfielder. He was just a good all-round midfielder that allowed the likes of Paul Scholes and Wayne Rooney and Park Ji-sung to go around. So as far as a creative midfielder, we haven't signed one of these for a very, 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 very long time. So I'm just loving every minute of it. So, but fair play to Leicester, and I mean fair play to United. It was set a second against third, so I mean it was always going to be tough. So, and still undefeated away from home. So what more can you say? Next match, I'm not going to touch on too much. Fulham 0, Southampton 0. I mean, the thing I will say is that for all of Southampton's possession, Fulham seemed to be dominating. I mean, they had 10 shots and 1 on target. That is a terrible statistic, by the way. But compared to Southampton's 3 and 2 on target, so possession isn't everything. And considering how well Southampton have been doing and how poorly Fulham have been performing, that was a very handy point for Fulham there. So fair play to Fulham. But yeah, not the most exciting of matches. Aston Villa 3, Crystal Palace 0. Could probably have predicted this, but the way that they've both been playing, I mean, it could have gone either way, really. So fair play to Aston Villa for beating Crystal Palace. And fair play for holding on, because they lost Tyrone Mings in the 45th minute. So fair play for holding on with 10 men after Bertrand Traoré scored, and then it's a pronunciation game after that, so I'm not even going to try. But it looks like for all of Crystal Palace's possession, Aston Villa looked the better of the two teams. I didn't watch the match, but I'm hazarding a guess that most of that possession came after the red card, because Aston Villa are very good at holding possession this season. So I'm hazarding a guess that red card had something to do with it. So fair play to Aston Villa. Now, the next one was the big one of Saturday, the big one of the weekend. Hence why it was on the board. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1. I don't think anyone really saw this. Even the most ardent of Arsenal fans saw this one coming. So, yeah, fair play to Arsenal. I mean, he trusted the youngsters. He did a bit of an Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger and said, all right, we're going to give the youngsters a chance. And sprinkled in there were some of the old guard like Xhaka and Lacazette, both of whom scored. Xhaka Lacazette. And so Bernd Leno saved a penalty. Chelsea just did not look on form through that match, in so much as they have done in other matches. I mean, they did have the possession, 61 to 39%. As I've mentioned in the previous matches, possession isn't everything. And there'll be a very important example of that in Sunday's fixtures. 19 shots and only 3 on target. That is an awful awful statistic. So, yeah, fair play to Arsenal and fair play to Mikel Arteta. We'll be able to sleep easy for the time being. Manchester City 2, Newcastle 0, not a particularly surprising result there. City had 76% of the possession, an example where possession was important, but they also had 11 shots and 6 on target to Newcastle 7 and 2. Yeah, it was never in any doubt really that this was the way that it was going to go. First match of this was yesterday. Sorry, I thought this was first match of this morning. Last match of yesterday, heartbreak for Sheffield United. Absolute heartbreak for Sheffield United. Gylfi Sigurdsson scoring in the 80th minute. Fair play to Everton. Amount of injuries they've got at the minute, the likes of James Rodriguez. And they're still managing to get results, so credit to Carlo Ancelotti. I know they haven't been on top of their game as they had been earlier in the season, but still, fair play to them. Sheffield United did look like they were performing, and they just couldn't pull it out of the bag, unfortunately. But a good performance from them. There's positives to be taken. They just need to go that extra step further. It'd be interesting to see what happens in their next fixture. So now we move on to today's fixtures. Leeds United 1, Burnley 0. Patrick Bamford scoring a 5th-minute penalty. And from there on out, they were just able to hold on. Not that they just shut up shop and just passed the ball around or anything like that, but they were able to hold on to their early goal. Burnley aren't the most attacking team, so you're not expecting them to come forward with explosive force and and bash the door down. But yeah, I think that early goal was very important to Leeds. So fair play to them, and hard luck to Burnley, because they did have 14 shots and 6 on target, so they were going for it. Very even in possession stats. So it seems like a very sort of immovable force versus an unstoppable object, and they came butting heads. So next match, West Ham 2, Brighton 2. Yeah, another very even looking match, even on possession, 57 to 43, relatively even on shots, 11 to 13 and 4 on target for each. Neil Maupay, everyone's favourite player to hate at the moment, scored for Brighton. Then Ben Johnson equalised for West Ham. Then Lewis Dunk put Brighton ahead again. And then Thomas Souček scored for West Ham. So fair play to West Ham. They continue gaining points. And I think that was a very important point for Brighton, especially with Burnley dropping points. So very, very important point for both of them there. Now, there are 2 matches left, and I'm going to do them out of order, because both of them are a little bit shocking, but one of them is more of a shock than the other. So, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Spurs 1. So Tanguy Ndombele scored in the 1st minute. I'm not sure the exact seconds, but it's probably like 30, 40 seconds or something like that, to put Spurs ahead. But then in the 86th minute, Saiss scored the equaliser and got a point for Wolves. Scenes at Molineux. So, yeah, it seemed like a relatively even match, 54 to 45% possession. Another even match. We're seeing a lot of even possession today. 11 shots with 6 on target to Spurs' 6 and 3. Spurs are a bit of an anomaly at the moment, because they have the likes of Heung-min Son and Kane and Bale. And even their midfield, Sissoko and Ndombele. I mean, even on the wings, they've got Bergwijn, they've got Reguilon at fullback. Like, they've got players that can make things happen. They just aren't. And it's funny to see. I mean, I know that Kane and Son are still one of the most prolific duos in the Premier League, and not taking anything away from them, but with that Spurs side, you would expect them to just be wiping the floor with teams, but I expect them to do what they did against Manchester United to every team that they hit, but they're just not. So but fair play to Wolves. Got their draw, and it was well deserved at the end of the day to get at least a point. So, on to the last one. Liverpool 1, West Brom 1. The return of Big Sam. He is undefeated in his last 4 matches at Anfield, in a span stretching a long time since he had that hiatus from football. So yeah, he is undefeated at Anfield. Liverpool had 17 shots, but only 2 of them were on target. West Ham had 5 and 3. And then Liverpool had 79% possession to West Brom's 21%. And that's why I say that possession is not the most important stat, because you can have 99% of the possession, but with that 1%, your opponent can chip the goalkeeper from the halfway line, and that's it, you're done. So it's very similar to what Chelsea did when they went through and won the Champions League against Bayern Munich in 2012. That match against Barcelona in, I think it's the semi-finals, where they were at the Camp Nou and they just absolutely shut up shop, thanks to Roberto Di Matteo and his tactics, and just completely shut up shop. And then Fernando Torres on the break, causing Gary Neville to, I don't know, let out that really weird scream. But yeah, so possession isn't everything. And that's the trouble with playing possession-based football. If there's no end product, there's no end product. So yes, Liverpool got the early goal, but Semi Ajayi scored the equaliser in the 82nd minute, 70 minutes later. So yeah, fair play to West Brom. And is this another Big Sam great escape? We'll have to see. It certainly seems like it. So that's everything for the review of the weekend's football. As I mentioned, I'm going to be back with you with a review. There's Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday matches. Then we've got a break Thursday, back on Friday. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. In the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe, keeping out of trouble. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Ta-ra for now.